It might sound crazy, but it's not. I need to tell you, what just happened in Kansas City is unusual. The confirmation came out a little while ago, and honestly, not even the most attentive Chiefs fan was expecting it. I follow this team closely, I breathe every move of the franchise, and I can guarantee you something big is being built behind the scenes, something that could completely change what we thought about the Chiefs. When I went looking for information, talking, analyzing, putting piece by piece together, I found details that aren't being discussed as they should be, and that caught my attention. Because it's not just another news story, it's the kind of situation that affects the team's future, important decisions, and above all, Patrick Mahomes' path in this new phase. But before I explain everything calmly, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because here we go beyond the surface. We understand what's really happening. Now, speaking as a fan, this is one of those moments when you feel something is changing. After a disappointing 2025 season, especially in the passing game, the Kansas City Chiefs may be considering a move no one expected, bringing Tarik Hill back. Yes, him. Last season highlighted a problem. The team completely lost its explosiveness in the long game, and for the first time in over a decade missed the playoffs. Much of this stemmed from the difficulty in connecting on deep passes, something that has always been a trademark of the team, and that's precisely where this possibility, which is gaining traction behind the scenes, comes in. The idea is simple but extremely impactful. Reunite Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tarik Hill, the trio that terrorized NFL defenses for years. And there's a factor that makes it even more plausible. Travis Kelce is already confirmed for another season. So the inevitable question that's starting to circulate is why not try to rekindle that magic that worked so well in the past? However, this story is far from simple. There's a major obstacle that can't be ignored: Tarik Hill's physical condition. The receiver suffered a very serious injury to his left knee in Week 4 of 2025, with multiple ligament tears, including the ACL. Recovery is long, complex, and divided into 5 phases, and the most worrying thing is that he hasn't yet completed important stages of this process. This raises an inevitable question: will Hill be ready for the start of the 2026 season? At this moment, the answer is uncertain. There's a possibility he'll be available right at the beginning of the season, but there's also a real risk of delay, which directly impacts his market value. In practice, this transforms a potential signing into a low-cost scenario, but with considerable physical risk. On the other hand, there's an interesting point that completely changes the analysis. Even if he returns, Tarik Hill wouldn't need to carry the offense alone as before. Today, the Chiefs already have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy gaining playing time, and there's still the possibility of adding another wide receiver in the draft. This opens the way for Hill to play differently, as a complementary piece, someone capable of bringing explosiveness in crucial moments without needing to be the main focus. And that's precisely what makes this possibility so intriguing. In this scenario, the risk decreases considerably, while the potential for impact remains high. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' offense continues to search for a new identity, trying to reinvent itself to return to the top. If the offense is already causing concern among fans, the Chiefs' defense is also far from inspiring any kind of tranquility at the moment. The secondary, which was one of the team's strongest points in previous seasons, suffered extremely important losses this offseason. Trent McDuffie was traded in a decision that surprised many, and Jalen Watson ended up leaving the team in free agency. When you combine these two scenarios, the picture becomes clear. A huge void has opened up in the pass defense, a serious problem that needs to be urgently addressed before the start of the 2026 season. And it is precisely within this context that a possibility is gaining traction behind the scenes, but also dividing opinions. The suggestion of a possible trade for Tarik Stevenson, cornerback for the Chicago Bears, is being discussed as an immediate solution to this deficiency. At first glance, the idea seems logical. Stevenson is a young player with good physical potential who has shown improvement over the last few seasons. He has managed to reduce the number of touchdowns allowed and has shown improvement in his coverage efficiency, indicating that he can still grow within the league. However, like almost everything in the NFL, this possible negotiation comes with, there's a catch, a but that can't be ignored. Stevenson still carries a worrying vulnerability in his game: difficulty containing long plays. In 2025, he allowed an average of 15.3 yards per reception, a number considered high for a cornerback playing in a system that demands consistency and security against long runs. This type of flaw can be costly in crucial moments, and that's exactly where the big dilemma for Kansas City arises. Is it really worth giving up valuable draft picks for a player who still exhibits this type of limitation? Or would it be smarter to bet on a young talent coming from the draft and develop him from the beginning within the team's system? This decision becomes even more delicate when we consider the presence of Steve Specnuolo, a defensive coordinator respected throughout the NFL for his ability to develop players and get the best out of young talent. Perhaps in his hands, a rookie could evolve more quickly and become a reliable long-term asset. On the other hand, Stevenson already has experience in the league and could offer a more immediate solution, albeit with risks. Ultimately, there is no simple answer. This choice could directly impact the Chiefs' defensive performance in 2026 and even influence the franchise's direction for the season. Meanwhile, the team continues to carefully analyze every detail, knowing that any decision made now could make all the difference later on. The Chiefs are also working intensely behind the scenes, thinking about the 2026 draft, and there is one name that is gaining more and more traction and could completely excite the fans: Carnell Tate. The Ohio State wide receiver has been attracting a lot of attention and is emerging as a possible key piece for the future of Kansas City's offense, and it's no coincidence. His numbers are already impressive: 875 yards, 51 receptions, and 9 touchdowns. But what really puts Tate on another level goes beyond the statistics. He stands out for his ability to easily get open, his efficiency when facing individual coverage, and above all, his consistency as a reliable target in important moments of the game. Furthermore, there's a detail that can't be ignored. His 1.88 meters height offers a physical characteristic that can bring a new dimension to the Chiefs' offense, something the team clearly lacks currently. With the number 9 pick in the draft, Kansas City is already in an interesting position, but there's a real possibility of moving up even further, especially after accumulating picks with the Trent McDuffie trade. And if Carnell Tate is available at the time of the pick, it's very likely the Chiefs won't hesitate to act. This raises an inevitable and quite interesting question. Will the future of the team's offense depend more on the draft than on a possible return of Tyreek Hill? The current scenario shows that this could be one of the most decisive offseasons in the Chiefs' recent era. The franchise faces important choices that could define its course in the coming years: betting on the return of an Idol, even with all the physical risks involved, trying to solve defensive problems through trades or the development of young talent, or investing heavily in the draft to rebuild and strengthen the offense. And amidst so many important decisions, one thing is certain: the Kansas City Chiefs are entering a moment that could define not only the next season, but the entire future of the franchise. Every choice, every move, and every bet made now could be the difference between returning to the top of the NFL or continuing to face doubts and uncertainties. If you want to continue receiving information like this, with all the behind-the-scenes details, analyses, and information that really make a difference, leave your like now because it greatly helps the channel continue bringing this type of content to you. And of course, subscribe too, because what's coming next for the Chiefs promises to be simply insane.